Yeah, by letting AI be the thing that's always summarizing every news article, every medical article, every historical article, every textbook, you're like old stories were written for a reason. Fables were written for a reason. It's to teach us a moral lesson or to like, you know what I mean, pass on like some kind of human wisdom. That's why we have fables, that's why we have stories, that's why we have religion. It's like why we do a lot of what we do is to reason out our existence and to pass on information that we think is important. And when we start to let AI summarize all that for us, we're literally letting AI decide, like tell us what are the human morals, what is our history, what are the takeaways from this historical event, what does this poem, you know, what was the intention of this artist when they wrote this poem, what does this poem signify in human history. Like you're literally letting the robots tell us what human existence means if you allow AI to like summarize everything for you. And that's the thing that's most tempting for me with AI is to like use the summarizing features because I really like to learn and I like to aggregate, you know, it's like it's so much easier arguably to like find, you know, patterns and to, you know, if I could get AI to summarize like all of Shakespeare's works for me, it would be so easy for me to see patterns in that. But that's just like Shakespeare according to AI. That's not Shakespeare according to Shakespeare, you know, and I think that if I want to understand his writing, the best thing to do is probably use other human minds to understand a human mind. But then there are some places where aggregating data is great and not, you know what I mean. You're not necessarily going to risk like loss of meaning, you know, in like medical imaging, right? Like we know that AI can diagnose or detect and diagnose certain types of cancers like years before a human doctor's eye could detect the difference in contrast on the scan, right? So that's like a great application, right? Let's like get more people diagnosed with cancer early on and save lives. That's fantastic. Or like what you've talked about with scrubbing through court data and being able to see like just in plain numbers. Like we don't need moralizing or commentary to look at numbers, right? So I do think that there are fantastic applications for AI in fields where we don't really want there to be any grayness. And like yes, there is always gray area, even in medicine, even in law, but that's why we still need people, right? We should still have doctors deciding how to treat the person with cancer, right? We shouldn't have like AI generated, you know, cancer treatment. We should still have an oncologist there to, you know, actually understand the studies and say, you know, determine what is a risk that's, you know, relevant to this patient and what's a risk that's worth taking. We still want human doctors to do that, and we still want humans in law to make the like actual humane judgments. Like that makes sense. But just when you're getting strictly down to data, that's like a great place for AI with no bias, just numbers and not all the red tape that it would take for a human to like aggregate that data. That's like my one concession for AI. I think that's the one good place for it.
So we got into this conversation because I asked Grok AI to find me the Taylor Swift song that is like this Dorothy Parker poem, and Grok couldn't figure it out. But you figured it out in less than a second. So this is
like human brain.
so I was thinking, you know, Taylor Swift reminds me of two poets, Emily Dickinson, who it turns out Taylor Swift is related to. I didn't know that. And then Dorothy Parker, who wrote The Danger of Writing Defiant Verse, that says, now I have another lad, no longer need you tell how all my nights are slow and sad for loving you too well. He never weaves a glinting lie or brags the hearts he'll keep. I have forgotten how to sigh, remembered how to sleep. He's none to kiss away my mind, a slower way is his. Oh Lord, on reading this I find a silly lot he is. So she's saying, I've got this nice guy, he's so much better than you, and then at the end of the poem she realizes, oh jeez, he's so boring. And then there's a Taylor Swift song like that Grok couldn't find.
Yeah.
Which is from Fearless.
Yes. Well, I said that poem makes me think of The Way I Loved You. Right?
Yes.
He is sensible and so incredible, and all my single friends are jealous. Like, come on, Grok. You ever heard of it? And probably Mr. Perfectly Fine, too. But I don't remember that song as well. But I mean, just based on, I think they're from the same album. I think that The Way I Loved You was a vault track. I don't think that she released it with, But that doesn't matter. Like Grok still has like the vault tracks are not in the vault anymore. Grok has no excuse not to know that song.
So I probably shouldn't be looking at poetry while I'm doing the podcast on this phone because it's going to sound bad.
Do you want to look something up on my phone?
There's this Emily Dickinson poem about being nobody that I think Taylor Swift would like. Taylor Swift probably knows all these poems, eh?
I think
she probably knows
a lot of them because just like based on the way that I understand her as a person, I mean, props to her for not being annoying about the fact that she's related to Emily Dickinson because like if I was related to Emily Dickinson and was a writer, I'd feel like I'd need everybody to know that. But
who was that Hemingway? There was like a Muriel Hemingway or somebody who used to go on talk shows and trade off the fact that Taylor Swift.
Yeah, like I'm surprised that she doesn't actually like. I don't know. Probably like hardcore fans will. She probably has like a pen name that references Emily Dickinson's name or something. Like there probably are like little secret ways that she connects herself to Dickinson. But I mean, when you mentioned that they were like distantly related, that like sparked it. Like I remembered that, but it's definitely not. Like she's not made it like a personality trait.
So here's Emily Dickinson. I bet Taylor Swift has a song about this.
But yes, this is my point.
Know.
Is that like I'm sure that knowing that she's related to a great American poet, she must have read everything that like why wouldn't you?
She seems like she would. So Emily Dickinson writes, "I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public, like a frog, to tell your name the livelong day." To an admiring bog. So, I could ask Grok, but Grok would have no idea. But does Taylor Swift ever have a sentiment about how dreary it is to be somebody, to have to be the all-important frog in the bog? How she wishes she could just be nobody.
The monster on the hill?
The monster on the hill, there you go.
Yeah.
She's too big to hang out, slowly lurching toward your favorite city.
That's right. Pierced through the heart, but never killed.
See, if I had asked Grok that, Grok wouldn't have had any idea.
No. She's probably got like a better, like a song that relates to that concept even more. It's not like coming to me off the top of my head, but yeah, it does. Like I was saying, it does not seem like Grok is very good at like literary analysis at all. Like shockingly bad at it, actually.